The presenting sponsor of Moontower Soccer is FVF Law.
To find out what makes FVF a different kind of injury law firm, you can visit fvf.law.
Hello, friends, and welcome to SWOONTOWER Soccer. My name's Mike Cragnola.
And I'm Steph Cragnola.
And we are all about the boys.
Yeah, we are all about the boys of Austin FC, and this week we've got a lot of Austin FC to talk about. We are going to do our Matchscots, our double fit checks. We've got double match moods, single goal sellies, social media standouts, and then we will hit our Cincinnati preview with our opponent spotlight.
Yeah, so when I was filling out the show notes here for this week, I had forgotten Minnesota was at home.
Yeah, I know.
Woof.
Yeah.
That said, speaking of woof, we do have a mascot of the match interview.
That was pretty good. That was a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We got to meet Oatmeal. She's so cute.
Yeah, Oatmeal. I don't know if my phone has ever been as wet as it was after our interview with Oatmeal.
Yeah, we got to feed Oatmeal treats, and I hope you hear it on the interview. Let's talk to Oatmeal.
Hi, Oatmeal. We're here to ask you a couple questions, okay? So my first question is, what is your favorite pre-match snack? Great answer, yeah.
All right, Oatmeal, I want to know, for today, do you think it would be more fun to ride with CJ Fodre or Brad Stuver in the car?
Ooh. Great answer.
You're right.
All right, Oatmeal, can we get a Listos Verde? Thank you.
Oatmeal's so perfect.
Oh my gosh, what an angel. So calm and gentle and big and perfect and snuggly.
Yeah. She's really sweet. And you should take her home.
Yeah, do it. I dare you.
I also dare you. That's a double dog dare.
Hey, that's a good one.
But we did not have a double dog this week, even though we had Open Cup.
2 matches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is officially a SWOONTOWER petition to bring dogs to Open Cup. If you're listening, powers that be, make a dog happen, especially because we get to play in another game at home.
Yeah. SWOONTOWER challenge. If you bring us a dog to interview at the next
Houston
round,
match, we'll
interview it.
Yeah, we'll do it.
All right, let's get into fits.
Yeah, let's talk about, so we should go chronological order, right? And talk about the Minnesota United fits.
Yes.
And then the U.S. Open Cup fits.
Yes. I have a question about the Minnesota fits.
Okay, what's your question?
What was the weather?
Let's play a guessing game. Let's look at Jean Komanich's outfit first. What was the weather?
65 degrees.
Maybe raining.
Cable knit sweater, but it wasn't raining because he has sunglasses on.
I mean, it could have been raining.
Post-rain drizzly.
It could have been raining, but bright. Those days?
Yeah. A little sun shower.
Yep. Your turn.
Okay.
Pick a player.
Julio.
Okay. Julio's tells me that it is the height of the summer, but you want to look cool because it looks like he's wearing all linen everything.
Yeah.
So it's really breathable, but he's still so stylish.
Yep.
He's got that trucker hat on with the open mesh back. Important to keep your head breathy. Exactly.
And it kind of sits up above his hair a little bit to let the airflow.
Yeah. Okay.
Through those curls.
Now you do Brendan Hines-Ike.
Ooh, okay. It is, oh man, it's 55 and gray, and you just want to snuggle in your sweatshirt, but you have to go out, so you put on the first hard pants you find that just happen to be khakis, and they still have a thing of gum in the pocket from the last time you wore them, but it's okay. You don't care enough to clean out your pockets.
Yeah, it looks like it was a breath mints maybe from like a business meeting, obviously, because why else would you wear khakis?
Ugh, yeah, literally.
And then, of course, we have...
my next, it's my turn.
Okay.
SWOONTOWER.
Great. It is day 2 of sleepaway camp. You can tell because he's wearing the same vibes. We got that button-up polo in the shorts. Our man is like, he's coming back to camp, and he looks so good.
So here's my thing about SWOONTOWER is that like he came from the Ukraine where it's cold.
It's just Ukraine. You don't say the.
Okay, he came from the country Ukraine. He came from Ukraine, and he's probably really freaking hot here.
Yeah, I wonder if he went home during the off season.
Yeah.
And then like has to reacclimatize.
I have a question because I never see Austin FC players wearing shorts unless they're Alexander SWOONTOWER.
Yeah.
Is it like an unspoken rule, like at work, you're not supposed to wear shorts?
Oh, I don't know. I work at a tech company. Everybody wears shorts.
I mean, I work at home, so I wear pajama shorts.
It looks like Robert Taylor might also be wearing shorts.
You think?
It's tough to tell.
I don't think so. I think those look like long pants.
Hmm.
They're cut off like where the short should end, and I don't see an end in sight.
I think I see a little oh, maybe not.
No.
I thought I was reading seam, but it might just be wrinkle.
Yeah, it's wrinkle. Yeah, he's a wrinkle boy. It's a nice shirt though on him.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Fit Checks.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome to Fit Checks, Bobby T. We'll see you in a month.
Oh, no.
So yeah, it was all over the place this week.
Yeah, Minnesota was a tough one to gauge. Who stood out?
I really like BHI, like except for the khakis. I love a guy in a hoodie.
Mm.
Who stood out for you?
I liked the Brad Stuver Man in Black serious business outfit. The like I'm channeling Johnny Cash look.
Mm. Is it because you own this outfit?
I don't own this outfit.
You don't own skinny black jeans and a black t-shirt?
Oh, I guess I do own this outfit. I was looking at the shoes. I don't own those.
You don't own his exact shoes.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go.
Part of the fit.
Let's go to the Open Cup. Now, is it usually Leagues Cup that they do the weird like filters for?
So last couple of years, they've been doing them for both Leagues Cup and Open Cup.
Yeah, I guess the filter vibe this year is like cool guy shots.
It's like a portrait studio modeling, right?
Yeah.
I like it.
I love it. I love Owen Wolf's shirt.
Yeah, he by far is the standout in this to me.
Yep.
I know like Julio's natural beauty jumps out, but like Owen looks like he put together an outfit for the model day and it just crushes.
Yes. I mean, it's unfair to compare anyone to Julio in this set. Like, it's just unfair. So I'm not even going to try. But Owen looks incredible. And also, Hot Air and Diego Rubio, incredible shirt choices.
So I think Hot Air looks like he looks like he might be an extra in the Mambo No. 5 music video.
Stop.
Like, not in a bad way, just in a way. You know, or like
God.
maybe the like that neo swing revival Brian Setzer orchestra era, you know, Cherry Poppin' Daddies or whatever.
I think he looks great.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that's what it says to me.
Wow.
Diego's shot, I think, is like it's peak like get this at Uniqlo vibe. You know what I mean? Really good sweater though, for sure.
Yeah. I guess like those are my standouts. Nico Dubersarski is a standout because of his sweet, sweet little face.
He's just so cute.
His Calvin Klein t-shirt.
Reminder that boy, Nico Dubersarski, is 9 days older than Owen Wolf.
Yeah.
despite looking like a freshman in high school in this picture.
Yeah. You had a comment about Brandon Vasquez's sunglasses.
Yeah, I think that is the level of confidence that I want to see our strikers with.
Okay.
Is that like, yeah, I can wear these.
A level of confidence I don't know if I like. I opened this set of pictures and I said, Mike, who is this? It's Basard Sabovich, and he looks like 40% of the people I went to college with, in a bad way.
Yeah, no, that's 100% correct. He looks like a guy who, like, you would see him at North Station in Boston, like, bumming a Marlboro outside, waiting for their commuter rail train to go back to, like, Drake it.
And you know what it is? A lot of it. It's this. I am not a fashion person, y'all. I know I've convinced you all that khakis are ugly, and I feel good about that. But I'm not like a ooh fashion kind of guy. I hate how stretched out the collar of his t-shirt is. Like, that's a thing I simply do not care about. And now I find myself caring quite a bit. Like, this looks like it's laundry day, and he put on his laundry t-shirt.
Yeah, it is. It's a look, right? It's this, like, vintage 90s style shirt. But
Did they stretch their collars out in the 90s?
No, I think it's just because it's from the 90s.
Oh.
And so you can see it's got that, like, little wavy, like, it's been stretched out and washed and, like, doesn't know what to do itself look on the collar there. So maybe it's real from when Mike Tyson was, like, unbeatable.
Yeah. Remember?
Too late. You started it.
I just wanted to talk about, like, media training and Mike Tyson's
his interview with
that child.
Yeah.
When he was like, everything is pointless and we're all gonna die, so what's the point?
Yeah.
Anyway, I think about that a lot.
Yeah. He's amazing, and that take was amazing.
Incredible. Thank you so much. What a unique response. All right, Mike, let's get this train chugging.
Okay. So we have to talk about match moods for Minnesota United. You will note there's a lot at the beginning and then after the match.
Yeah.
That's by design.
Yep.
So first off,
happy birthday, Brian.
Yeah, so the North End Pirates, Brian threw a party outside of Q2 starting at 2 p.m., the very normal time to start pre-gaming for an Austin FC match. And it was so much fun, and it was a good time.
It was awesome, but I did tell Mike when we got into the stadium that I had to keep drinking, otherwise I was just going to go to sleep.
Yeah,
I am not an afternoon sun drinker.
Yeah, we tied one on for Minnesota, thank God.
Because we went from there to Hop Squad, and I bought a little Barks for Brews cup, which looks like straight out of Saved by the Bell, and I love it.
Yeah, and then we got to meet with a bunch of the Minnesota United fans who were there, talk to them about their trip. Some of them had been at that Minnesota United Sporting Kansas City match earlier in the year that the Looney Bin folks had talked about on our show last week.
Yeah.
And so that was a really cool, like, full circle moment, getting to meet them and hearing their takes on the Orange Ball match, and then seeing that they were down here when it's beautiful outside.
Yeah. That was fun. Also fun is John Gallagher with his 150th appearance for the club.
Yeah, he was the second player ever to get to that number of appearances. So congratulations to John on that. And congratulations to a child who this jumped out to me. I don't know if you saw this in the pre-match activities, but Dane St. Clair was warming up, like getting his feel for the ball with the gloves before, like just before kickoff. And he's holding one of the balls that like sits behind the opposing team's goal. And after he was done with it, he noticed a child watching him. And so he made eye contact with the child and like threw them the ball so that the kid could like have a little moment of interaction with an MLS guy. And I thought that was super neat and super cool.
And that's something that we don't often get to see because usually it's Brad starting at our end.
Yeah. And so it was annoying of Minnesota to flip that. But I appreciated getting to see that moment.
Yeah.
Anyway, stuff happened.
Yeah, 90 minutes went by.
Well, partway through those 90 minutes, there was a moment where Ilya gathered the team after Minnesota scored their second goal and pulled everybody into a huddle to like get their heads on straight. And after that second goal, you could see that like they had kind of calmed down a little bit and were like trying to figure out ways to work with the stuff that they had learned. And so that was like a moment of Ilya captainship that I appreciated a lot in this match.
Yeah, Captain Ilya is such a good choice.
Yeah, and speaking of that, he had a really great interview with the guys from We Are Austin TV. I think it was Alex asked him some questions in the locker room afterward. Make sure to go to their Insta and like follow them to get those post-match interviews with the players that they're doing. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
And Ilya was really insightful as to what he thought had happened in the match and like where those moments were for the club to improve. And I thought that was really like stepping up and taking ownership of that, right? I was listening to the Emergency podcast with Phil West and Moises about like exactly that and how Ilya would have stood there all night answering questions from the reporters until they got what they needed to be able to tell the story of the match. And I thought that was just a really great way to frame that, right? Like Ilya understands his role as captain is to be the mouthpiece for the team, and that the media's job is to be the bridge between the fans and what's happening on the field. And so it was just a really cool conversation that they had on that show that I wanted to highlight here.
Yeah, I really like that. We've got a good group of media folks.
Yeah, we got a good group of media folks. We got a good good understanding of how to interact with them from the player side of the house, which I think is really important, especially in moments that are kind of down like this.
Yeah, agree. All right, match moods from Wednesday, a little different.
Yeah, a little bit different vibe, but kind of not.
Not for, yeah.
So in the pre-match lead up, I thought one of the cool things was El Paso's coach, Wilmer Cabrera, who's a former MLS player, was talking about how important it was for the club itself to be able to go and compete in the Open Cup. He was saying that this is the first time in the history of El Paso that they'll get to play against an MLS team. And so they were talking about how excited they were to come into a stadium that is top in the league and compete against a team at that level and see where they're at as players and as coaching staffs to understand kind of where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the Open Cup so much.
I know.
And this
I know
is
you
why.
do. Yeah. And I was thinking at the very beginning of the match, when they were warming up, this is an MLS stadium.
Yeah.
This is a place that they don't get to play.
No, they play in a baseball field.
Right. And that was just such a cool moment. I know our history with the Open Cup has been different than this year. Having to be at a Palmer Field last year, and it just was really nice to see.
Yes, agreed 100%. It was really, really fun until the game started. We brought our friend Matt, who brought a friend, and Matt didn't tell us that friend was an El Paso fan, and that soured the mood a little bit.
Yeah.
No offense, Matt. Full offense, your friend.
Yeah.
No. But we did, after the first half, we were pretty full in on there's a curse, we are cursed, and we need to do something to change the outcome of this curse.
Yep.
And so we grabbed Jeremiah Bentley, our Moon Tower dad, and his son, which I guess makes him our Moon Tower brother. And we went up and crashed Landon's seats.
That's really funny.
We went up and we saw our other Moon Tower dad and crashed his seats and prayed for the curse to break. And
and it did.
It did. You're welcome.
You know what Jeremiah said? He said, like, maybe 5 or so minutes before our first goal, he said, when we get one, it'll come.
Everything will change.
Everything will change. And, like, it did.
And it felt like that, right?
Yeah.
It felt like that all night, that, like, we kept being... And I know we say this about every game that we've lost. We've been, like, inches away from the right thing, right?
Right.
And instead of being inches away, we were spot on for the right thing.
Yeah.
3 times in 8 minutes. And they were all, like, regular, good goals. They all looked good. I'm sure Landon and Jeremiah will talk about it more on Moon Tower. So if you want to listen to the tactical breakdown of these, like, do that. But, like, they were just the goals that we should be scoring. Nothing special, nothing out of the ordinary.
Things
and
just
all
clicked.
Right. And all stuff that we've seen them do and just not be able to finish on in the past here. So super stoked.
God, it was awesome.
Are we back?
Oh, God.
Is the curse broken?
Oh, gosh.
We scored 3 goals?
You really talked a lot about the curse.
It felt good?
I think maybe it's like, okay, you know that this is a deep cut. You know that episode, you don't, but someone listening might, of Doctor Who, where it's like a big, like, season finale, and there's a whole Martha Jones thing, and then, like, basically she gets everyone across the world to, like, just at this one moment in time, like, think about the Doctor, and, like, that's what, like, breaks this evil hold on him. So do you think that, I promise this has a point, do you think that because you have gotten so many people on board with the curse, that the power of collective thinking was enough to, like, break us through?
I hope so, because, like, even Landon turned around and was like, you know what? I think you might be right. I can't explain it any other way. And then we scored a bunch of goals.
Yeah.
So, folks, the moral of the story is belief. Clap your hands if you believe there was a curse and that it's broken.
Yeah. Okay. We won and it was great.
The post-match was awesome. You could tell how much it meant to the club and to the players that, like, they did it. They broke through. We scored some goals. We won the game. And, like, the vibe was good.
Yep.
Really looking forward to carrying that into the weekend.
Me too. All right, let's hit our Open Cup goal sellies, plural.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Well, they were all, I guess, yes. Okay, plural goals.
We had plural goals.
Still
and
only
a
one
debatable, multiple sellies.
Yeah.
Because that first goal, we're down. We're still down by a goal.
Yep.
And so Brandon Vasquez just runs and gets the ball and runs back.
Yep.
But, like, there's, like, a mini fist bump. Doesn't count.
Right. Doesn't count.
The second one, I think, is the questionable one, where Mircea Uzuni bangs in a goal from kind of deep, and the whole time he's running to get the ball, he's still running full speed, but he's pointing at the supporter section, and you can, like, see in his face on the replay just how excited and happy he is to get the ball and, like, run back to score the third.
Yeah.
Do you think this counts as a celly?
No.
Okay. Well, then we get one celebration this week.
Yeah.
It's Brandon Vasquez banging home that game winner off an Owen Wolf cross. Oh, it's so good.
So good.
He's yelling, fist pumping. His shorts are pulled super high. He does the Superman pose in front of the like home crowd, the most raucous South End folks. Bobby Taylor jumps on his back. It's exciting. What do you think?
I'm going to go 6.5 out of 10.
Wow. Why?
Because we've seen it.
Huh. I still get so amped by the excitement of like that like Ultimate Warrior fist pump before the Superman like
Yeah,
stillness.
it is. It's so hype.
Right. So like that's got to be at least an 8 for me. Like I'm a victim of hype for sure.
That's fair. I will not let myself and my objective ruling on goal sellies be swayed by hype.
I appreciate your commitment to
I'm an impartial judge.
Yeah, impartiality.
Yes, thank you. Oh man, speaking of commitment, let's hit our social media standouts because you literally guffawed at a BHI Instagram story the other night, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with it until you pointed it out.
I couldn't help it. So BHI posted one of those like today was a really rough day, but we move on kind of posts, right? Super normal, very standard for a loss. Like pictures of him being sweaty and looking sad from the game. And I am dying on the couch. Steph, why do they use Comic Sans?
Because it's a default Instagram.
But don't they know it looks silly?
No, I don't think they do. I don't think they break down font analysis.
They should listen to SWOONTOWER.
Yeah, well, they should. We know they should.
And the reason they should is because we found out after the fact that Dubersarski's whole town, or his whole family was in town for his first start at the Open Cup.
Yes.
So cute.
Loved getting to see the picture of his parents in the stands, and then he was out to brunch with his mom. Oh, I guess probably with his whole family, but like
certainly with his mom, his favorite. You can tell.
You can tell.
I think that's so cute. Do you think that was like a Mother's Day post early?
When do they celebrate Mother's Day in Argentina?
I don't know that. We should ask the fact checkers to find out.
Sunday, October 19th. So no, I don't think it was a Mother's Day thing because I don't think he's on an American calendar.
What if he is?
Speaking as someone with experience, living in a different country for a little bit, when I saw Mother's Day cards on the shelves in London, I panicked so hard because I was like, how did I forget this is happening? It's like 2 months earlier in England, but I like freaked out. So like, I don't think he's on an international minor holiday calendar yet.
Wow. You hear that? Steph thinks Mother's Day is a minor holiday. Steph hates moms. I can't believe that I'm learning that on SWOONTOWER today.
Oh my God.
I'm going to text Kathy and tell her.
Oh my God. As long as you don't text Brad's mom.
No, she knows you love her.
Yeah. Okay.
So speaking of Kathy, though, did you see that she's a star now?
Yes.
She starred with her son Dani for Austin's merch for Mother's Day. They're making soccer mom hats.
So cute.
It's so cute. They're going to sell so many of those.
Yes.
I can't, it's so adorable.
Yeah, that was really fun. And it was great to see her get a little spotlight. They had their first meeting, it looked like, with someone for Aros Toques Foundation, with a player and his parents.
Talking about scholarships.
And navigating the system.
Making college affordable and stuff. So sick.
Yeah, so it was really cool to start to see that work come through.
Yeah. I think the Dani social media era, I think, is coming back full force now that he's injured and he can't work out because he has been a menace all week in his teammates' comments. Like Steph Cleveland just posted a really sweet, these are from our engagement photo shoot or our marriage photo shoot, trying to wish his wife a happy birthday, just being nice.
Yeah.
Dani's in the comments. Oh man, what did she do to deserve you? How do I do that?
How do I get one? Yeah.
What a troll. I love it. You can tell he's at least in good spirits.
Yes.
After the injury. So that's good to see.
Yeah, it is. It's fun to see. Even, when things aren't going great, that they still have their
camaraderie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of things like people always staying in good moods. There's a Guilherme Biru interview recently with Pitchside USA, where they talked to him in Portuguese
on his birthday
about his time in MLS so far. It's got subtitles for English speakers, so like definitely check that out. We'll put a link in the show notes. Anytime we get to see some of these players who don't get featured in club socials because they don't speak English, it's so awesome.
Yeah, and just like another like quick plug there for, you mentioned it earlier, but We Are Austin TV has been doing Spanish, Portuguese, and English interviews after the matches, and it's been really great just to see and hear from some of these players that, exactly like you said, we don't get a lot of FaceTime from.
Yeah, and so one of the benefits to We Are Austin is like they will do translations into Spanish or into English on the screen for whatever language isn't being spoken in the video, and so that's super helpful too.
Yeah.
So, club, take notes. Maybe you could do that too.
Yeah. Speaking of interviews.
Yeah.
And the club, have you ever been to Thai Fresh?
I have not. Have you?
No. It looks great though.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go after we record this.
We're busy.
Yeah, but I'm hungry.
Okay. So they had an interview with the owner of Thai Fresh, Jam Senetchat, and featured her work for AAPI month. It's just a sweet little feature. I love that the Austin FC media team is making sure to consistently highlight the pillars of our community. Obviously, we haven't been there because we just said so, but like everyone in the comments was so excited to see her and celebrate her.
Yeah, just super duper cool. Steph, do you want to do an ad break and then get to our Cincinnati preview?
Oh man, I guess we should, huh?
Yeah, it's time to do that, and maybe get some food after.
Okay. SWOONTOWER Soccer is brought to you by our friends at FVF Law, the official injury lawyers of Austin FC.
FBF is a different kind of personal injury law firm dedicated to community, transparency, and client education. And they have their own podcast called Summary Judgment. Check it out wherever you get your podcasts.
You can go to fbf.law to find out what makes FBF a different kind of injury law firm and why understanding your legal options can dramatically change the outcome of a case. Once again, that's fbf.law.
Our premier sponsor is McGuire Woods Consulting, helping clients in the public affairs space from lobbying at the local, statewide, and federal levels to digital and communications campaigns across the country.
McGuire Woods Consulting has offices in 10 MLS cities, but only advertises on this podcast because we're the best team in the world and we're taking it to the end of the Open Cup. Contact our friends at McGuire Woods Consulting at www.mwcllc.com for more information.
Also, for the record, I think the only clubs that we really need to be worried about in the MWC LLC
universe
Cup competition is LAFC. The rest of these clubs are nothing.
Okay. All right. We'll put that on the record. This Saturday night, we are heading up to Cincinnati for the first time ever. Not the first time for some of our players, but the first time as Austin FC, ready to rebound in MLS after last night's exciting. I was
curse breaking.
Curse break. I was gonna call it a blowout. It wasn't. It was a blowout for like 6 minutes. Exciting curse breaking win against El Paso Locomotive, moving us up in Open Cup. And today, to do a little opponent spotlight preview, we are so excited to have Jeff from Cincinnati Soccer Talk on to give us some insight. You can find all of their work at cincinnattisoccertalk.com or Cincy Soccer Talk on social media. Jeff, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, guys, thank you for inviting me to the show here. It's very rare that I get to do my other people's podcasts, and welcome to the winner's circle for US Open Cup. Speaking as an FCC fan, it was great to see us bulldoze through teams in 2017 and 2023. Glad to see you guys enjoying the Open Cup.
Oh God, it's the best. It's the best tournament in America. Watching El Farolito, watching all of these crazy stadiums all across the league on for free on YouTube and now on Paramount Plus is How could you not love it?
I only wish there was more teams that I had interest in. Like, I do not want to see Lou City win any of these games in the U.S. Open Cup. We don't want to see Detroit City. We don't want to see Pittsburgh win these games. But it's always nice to at least see the possibility of a cup set.
Here in Austin, we want to see Lou City win a bunch of games. Damian Loss, our star young goalkeeper, is on loan with Lou City, holding it down over there. So, second team in our hearts for sure right now.
If you say so. If you say so.
Well, so talking about the first team in our hearts leading up to this weekend, we were just on Jeff's show and did a little chatting about some off-season moves, some of the Slack talk I think that we've been having for a couple years now really came to life in that chat. We talked a lot about former coaches, former players, and it was great to get to have those conversations. So that's on Cincinnati Soccer Talk Jersey Swap, and you can find that wherever the Cincinnati Soccer Talk shows are.
Well,
so
we usually do. We'll do a YouTube. We'll put that up, but it's always through Cincy Soccer Talk.
Perfect. So we got to share a lot about Austin FC roster moves and some stuff to look forward to from our end this weekend. And now we're excited to flip that script on you. So one of the main reasons we do this is because national MLS coverage can really reduce a team's performance to real general observations rather than finding the nuance in the way that they're growing and playing and changing over the season. So how does the national take on Cincinnati compared to the local actual perspective?
Yeah, it feels like the national take is, oh my God, Evander. Oh my God, Kevin Denke. And that's kind of it.
I really think that a lot of the national pundits, when they view FC Cincinnati, they view it from the prism of what they've done lately. Thankfully they've moved on from our first horrible 3 years as an MLS entity. But I also think that because of those bad 3 years, Cincinnati fans have always been skeptical as a fan base. I mean, we could be walking on solid ground, but we fear the sinkhole that's going to open up underneath us. National pundits, they'll see all of these, sterling pieces on this team, but fans, they'll judge it on the weakest link. The defense could be on point and locking down offenses, but if one cog is broken, then we feel all the cogs are broken. If the starting 11 is operating on all cylinders smoothly, we feel that there's something on the bench that's going to bring us down a few pegs. So I feel that we're a team that does just enough to succeed. Sometimes I don't think we get that from the national perspective. If you're a team that wins all your matches by 1 goal, however, you're on pace to set a scoring record. And I think that's how the national pundits will look at it. But I think we tend to take our expectations down a few notches. I mean, we're also a town where the Bengals play, the Reds play. We've seen the glory that's, the carrot dangling in front of us. And then suddenly a Steelers interception will, drown that hope out. So we just, I think, tend to be more, or I should say less skeptical. I'm saying all the wrong words here. We tend to be skeptical about success.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting, right? Because normally it feels like the other way, where the MLS pundits have kind of generalized, and the local fans have like a more clear-headed perspective, right? And I think in this case, from the outside, it seems the opposite, right? Like, your team is really, really good. It could be a contender for the cup this year, and like, when everything clicks together, it should be really, really exciting times in Cincinnati.
Yeah, but we've also seen what happens when they click and then somehow fate rears its ugly head. I mean, we were up 2-0 against the Red Bulls in the US Open Cup and lost 3-2. We were up 2-0 against the Columbus Crew in 2023. We lost 3-2 in extra time. We were up 2-0 against Inter Miami in the US Open Cup in 2023, and we lost in a shootout. So we've seen that, we've been Charlie Brown in this scenario. We've wound up and tried to kick at the football and had it ripped away by fate. So we don't like being suckers all the time.
Sure. You are currently 7-1-3 in the league, and 2 points off of the Eastern Conference leaders in Columbus. So, like, from the outside, I get it. And y'all are really good with 4 wins and 1 loss in your last 5. That's a pretty good run to be on.
I mean, we were, our challenge was we wanted to win all of the games in April, and we went 4 for 4. So I think that's a good thing to build off on.
Yeah, for sure.
May's a new month. Set a
May
less,
is a new month. Yeah.
set a less exciting goal for us. And let's talk about, I feel like Cincy is so full of players whose names everyone will know. And I don't know if that's just because I started doing MLS fantasy soccer this year. And so I know them, but we're going to talk about the key players to look out for, but I want to spend a minute on one of my favorite players to scream at the TV about. Your captain this year, Matt Miazga. We
Yes.
were watching. What were we watching? The
Onside. The
no,
MLS.
no. The game.
Oh,
Was it the New York game just
Yeah,
this week?
believe it was
Yes.
it NYC this weekend?
Yes,
Yeah.
NYCFC at the baseball field.
Yeah, and when Matt started going up to have a chat, we'll say
At
kindly,
the referee.
I was like, oh man, I feel like this is the reason. Matt Miazga is the reason that they made the only the captain can talk to the ref rule. And Mike was like, Matt Miazga is the captain. And I said, you are lying. You're lying to me. And then like the camera panned and I saw the armband and I was like, I refuse to believe that was a choice someone made of their own free will. So can you talk us through that choice?
I mean, I know you had brought it up before your doubt in terms of him having like being a responsible captain. But I also feel that it didn't necessarily make this rule just so that Miazga can be the captain and talk to the ref. I mean, before this season, it was always Lucho Acosta. It tended to be, if not him, it would be Obina Nwobodo, our midfielder. And Matt really wasn't the captain. He was considered the centerpiece in the back line, but he never was the captain. Maybe that is something that was a factor towards giving him the captainship. But also you take a look at, we've had DeAndre Edlin, one of our wingers, as a captain. We've Obina Nwobodo has been a captain. So we've Miles Robinson, our defenseman, has also been captain. So we have a lot of voices in the back that have that potential to be captain. I feel that Matt Miazga has the best opportunity to communicate within his group. If you have to talk to the goalkeeper, Roman Celentano usually, and then connect that to the rest of the field, he's your guy. And I really feel that when Miazga wasn't on the field as a player, that connection, that communication was lost. You didn't quite get the defense, the midfield, the forwards all on the same line. I feel that's the responsibility I talk about when I say that he's got that sense.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
That's a good term, or a good way to use the word responsible when talking about Matt Miazga.
And he knows a really good pizza joint around.
Yeah, he's just giving out Rex everywhere. What a legend. For folks who don't know, Matt Miazga was suspended. Jeff, you tell the story.
It was, he already got a yellow card in the away matchup against New York Red Bull.
Why did he get the yellow card?
I think that was just a regular yellow card. But
oh, right.
During the penalty kicks, he then scored and celebrated in front of the crowd he used to celebrate in front of. He used to be a Red Bull. And he gave the heart marks and seemed to linger a little too much with the heart marks. And he got a yellow card for that.
Honestly, I think I am team Miazga here so far. Because what a ridiculous yellow card.
It was a long time. He
has a lot of love to give, Mike. All right,
that's literally what he said.
But according to the rules, that's not an instant red card. It is a suspension for the next game, but it's not an instant red card. I think, and I'm trying to be as gentle as possible, he wanted to talk to the refs about this after the game. And you can't go into the ref's room. You cannot challenge them that way. And I think after the fact, he knows what he did, and he knows that it was wrong. You take your punishment, and that did cost us. That's the fate that we talk about when we losing 3-2 to Columbus Crew in the MLS playoffs, because we didn't have the personnel on board.
Yeah. So as a Cincy guy, I gotta know, was the pizza thing real?
As far as I know, it was. He had the pizza, and hey, if you enjoy having a pizza, you're not going to put it down and then talk to somebody. You're going to.
No, certainly not. There's no need.
Yeah. So I wasn't there, so I can only imagine what it was like. But that's where Pizzagate comes in. It wasn't about buying or selling or distributing pizza. It was what he was holding when this whole thing happened.
Incredible.
So you've mentioned basically the whole back line. I noticed you didn't mention Luca Oriano, who is a defender in MLS Fantasy. And last year, right, he was filling in for Alvaro Barreal on the wing, like in that wing back position. Where does he play nowadays?
It could really be as far up as your second striker position, that winger that likes to roam across the front there. He definitely is predominant on his left foot, and that's sometimes been the subject of many a curse word, where you want him to shoot with his right foot, but he just is so powerful with his left foot that he just cannot switch off. I feel that he does better when he pulls back and he's able to roam as much as possible. But I also feel that defense is not his forte. He's going to be the wing back that will bomb up front, linger around, and then perhaps the back five will turn into a back four if the other side pushes back down. He's not going to be necessarily the guy coming back to challenge like the likes of Bukhari or I cannot say his name. Uzuni. Yeah. He's not going to be the guy to challenge there. But granted, I don't think he needs to be that guy. We have a really good back line. One of the guys that I haven't brought up, Obi Nwobodo, he has sort of been the turning point. As much as people point to the likes of Lucho Acosta the past few years, it's been definitely the likes of Obi Nwobodo. He's been strong in terms of keeping the defense in check, the ball progressing, doing well. He's one of the better players that we have pulled in. And frankly, if we're going to build a statue, it's going to be him.
Cool. I think we probably need to talk about the incredible talents of both Evander and Kevin Denke now. We've got a long time talking about the defense, which is a problem for Austin, who does not score goals. But I think we need to move to your front line. Tell us about these players. How do they work together? Is it a situation like, is it possible to stop both of them in the same game?
I think it is, because last week 1-0, we didn't get any goals in. So I think it's possible to stop both of them. I think the point is are you able to stop them with a full squad behind them? And that's what I think makes them dangerous. In the 1-0 loss against New York City, you saw Evander pulling back and playing that number 8 position, being the facilitator. He's not necessarily the facilitator that he needs to be. That's usually the likes of Pavel Buka, who was out for that New York City game. When they're both able to sort of be up front and pilot things in that sense, and then pop back if necessary, I think that's when they're best. Kevin Denke is much better, I think, at his role than any the other forwards we might have. He pops back and plays very well, facilitating the ball and getting it not only as a striker, but also as sometimes a faux number 9. And Evander does the same thing. Evander's not flashy like Lucho Acosta was. Lucho tried to sometimes, I think, command the ball and do too much with the ball. Evander, I think, sees many options around him. And then I think his most dangerous thing is he is this super powerful, accurate free kicker who can find corners of that goal that you cannot protect. It's just a gift that I feel he has, and it's worked so far. I hope that we can keep him more dangerous in free play, though. If we can get Luca Orshano working with him as well and being that other facilitating piece, then I think that's when all three of them are going to click and unlock this offense that we've been promised.
Yeah, I hope that happens for you in 2 weeks.
I hope so too, because in 2 weeks we'll be playing Columbus, and
Yeah.
that's what
Score
we
all the
see.
goals on them.
Yeah.
Hell is real, baby.
God, does it feel so cool to have the coolest RV name in all of MLS and probably the world?
I was gonna say in all of the world for sure.
I mean, I forget who it is, but El Plastico is an awesome name.
But it doesn't compare to Hell is Real.
When we were with USL and Lou City was our main rival, we had the Dirty River Derby, which was awesome. But yeah, Hell is Real is just something that I think it became organic from a fan point of view. They were trying desperately to call it the Ohio Derby or the Ohio Cup or something like that, something very generic and milquetoast. But the fans knew what the connector was. That big sign going between the two cities, Hell is Real. It just stuck so well that I think both front offices and even the MLS themselves were like, look, we can't ignore this. We, as dirty a word as it is in some circles, we have to call it Hell is Real, or else it's just not going to be a sales piece that we can use for the league.
Yeah. But like from the inside, how cool is it to know that you have the coolest rivalry?
That's a loaded question, because for the longest time it wasn't cool to us. We were the ones that were getting our lunch money taken. Jassy Zardes was always scoring on us. He would get braces, and then Lucas Ryan would be scoring on us. And
I don't think Jassy
Zardes.
I don't think Jassy Zardes can score a brace.
No, he did to us multiple times.
Walks on a brace, maybe.
And then
poor Jossie.
No, I know.
Help that he's a grandpa.
It's also just one of these things where the bad things happen in bunches. We'd be up against them, and then we'd have a red card given to them, and we'd be like, oh, we've got this game in the bag, and we blow it at the end. Or we've Steven Moreira scores on us at the last second, and we get the shush call from Caleb Porter. There was always something that I think the success was so far out of our grip, but it was right there. And then finally, when we started to figure out how to win, we got the supporter shield. It started to feel like a concrete rivalry again.
Yeah.
That we could point back at the 2017 win against them and say, this is where it started. And the stuff in the middle, we weren't very good for the longest period of time, but we are back and we're showing them we can beat them in Columbus. So I feel the bragging rights are there again.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good vibe.
So
it's an awesome vibe. I mean,
not
winning anything for 3 years is that's an awesome vibe.
I love for this weekend, I love the concept of y'all not winning. But what do you think the keys are to success against Austin this weekend?
Oh, it'd be nice if Luca Roshano can get off his schneid and score. I mean, his confidence has been there. He took some really quality shots against New York City, but I think we're all hoping he doesn't go the Corey Baird route, and he needs to score to get all the attention off of Kevin Denke and Evander, or else his team's offense is going to get predictable. It's better to have a trident up front than this, two-pronged fork. Additionally, it would be nice to get Matt Miazga to be on for a full 90 minutes. I'm not the biggest fan, of course, of giving him the captain's armband, but like I said, he was brought in to be that vocal leader. The fact that he came off after a half, I feel that I think handing off the captain's armband midway through a game is difficult for a team. If we can get him at least 75 minutes, I think we've got ourselves a coherent team that can play really good defense at the same time.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, there's a question that we really love asking so that I don't get my feelings hurt on the weekend, and I know what to expect. On the scale of boxers to ball boys, what would you say the like spice level of the team is? Their physicality, their willingness to maybe fight a little bit. It looks like we are on exactly the same pace for yellow cards and red cards alike this season, but
So basically, this is a physicality sort of
physicality
standpoint.
question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's going to beat us up?
I mean, I want this team to be spicier. I think that perhaps I can maybe describe. I don't know if either of you have ever had Cincinnati chili.
I was so hoping this conversation was going to come up. I have
Just as a
not.
crash
I will
course.
not.
As
But
a
go on.
crash course, Cincinnati chili, it's not necessarily spicy like Mexican chili would be. It's more of a meat sauce with a pronounced cinnamon, nutmeg, cumin, a little less on the chili powder. I feel that when we had the likes of Lucho Acosta and to some extent Brandon Vasquez, Alvaro Barrial, we not only did we have, I think, a swagger, but we also had that spice. There was excitement. There was a need to play physical. And there were people buzzing around. And I really felt that allowed the likes of Obina Nwobodo to sort of be that physical presence that allowed Matt Miazga to have the comfort to patrol the back. This year, I don't quite see it yet. And I think part of that is we're still waiting for the likes of Miazga to get 100% healthy. We're hoping that Obina Nwobodo, who probably isn't going to play on Saturday, he's trying to recover from a knock that he's gotten. I'd like them to get back to full physical fitness. It's not a spicy team, despite what we saw that scissor kick from Kevin Denke a few weeks ago. But I'm just hoping that our midfield, our defense can both get physically healthier and also be able to identify themselves. There's a lot of missing pieces from last year that they've had to re-knit. But hopefully we can get that together.
Yeah, and I think when you are looking at the spice level of the team, I think the Yuya Kubo quote that you shared with us on your show just before this one kind of encapsulates a little bit more of that like boxer mentality than the ball boy mentality. If you wouldn't mind sharing that again for our listeners.
Oh, I'm going to have to find it. It was from Laurel Failer, one of the really solid reporters up here in Cincinnati. She covers not only FCC, but also the Bengals full time. She got to speak with both Yuya Kubo and Brandon Vasquez. Yuya basically said, like, if Brandon scores, he won't shake his hand post game. But if he doesn't, yes, of course he will. And I think Laurel talked to Vasquez after. She said that Vasquez said that if he does score and Yuya doesn't shake his hand afterwards, he'll just run up and give him a big hug. I mean, I really think that that's the bond between some of the players that are on this team and the likes of Vasquez, the likes of, and I know that Acosta left on bad terms, that I think he's still very good friends with some of the members of this team. And I'm hoping that type of personality, that mentality, that camaraderie and brothership that we've had with past players sticks around for a long time here.
Yeah. I love that connection to each other. Something that I think is so important to remember is like, these guys are coworkers, right? So even if, I won't say even if, but whenever players go to a different team, as long as it's not your rival, I think it's okay to admit that like they can be friends off the field, you know?
And I also think that really some of the things that have happened in the past few years involving the teammates. I don't know how big this was in national terms of soccer news, but Aaron Bupenza passed away a few weeks ago. Apparently had fallen to his death. And that, I think, as much as Bupenza left on bad terms, it really hits the public, the team really hard. And
in the league, right?
And
all of those goal celebrations where the players were like revealing their tributes to Bupenza was like just really special moment, and like really shows that like, I mean, these are young guys, right?
Yeah.
When you think about the people in the locker room, 20 to 28, 30, 32-year-old dudes. Like,
Yeah. I mean, we also look at Marco Angulo, who he would have been 23 today. He passed away because of an induced coma after a car accident. So this team has undergone some pretty brutal shakeups in terms of how connected these players were. Marco Angulo was the guy that operated the sound system after wins. So, Aaron Bupenza, as much as, he had troubles off the field here, he was still a valued member of the team. And so when these things happen, it does remind you that, as much as you joke about not shaking hands after these games, you hug it out, you shake hands, people next to you and across the field from you are brothers. And I think that's also why I came up with this jersey swap concept.
yeah,
That at the end of the day, we're just trading shirts. We're the same people. And that's how we really should treat each other.
awesome, Jeff. Thank you so much for your time, man. This was great. Will you tell everyone where they can find more from Cincy Soccer Talk? I know we mentioned it at the top of the show, but plug it yourself now.
Well, CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com is the best way to find us. We have a Monday live show. We have Jersey Swap that we usually put out Thursdays or Fridays. Go to Cincy Soccer Talk on X, on Blue Sky, on Instagram, on Facebook as well. Go to your favorite podcasting platforms and you'll find all of us as well. And if you come to these games, you'll definitely see us. If we're not in the press box, we're definitely watching the game in public there too.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeff. And good luck this weekend, but not too much. We hope you have fun a little bit.
We'll definitely have more fun than the 5-0 loss that we had the last time. We faced.
Maybe.
I mean,
who's to say? We could start scoring goals.
It could happen. We're not cursed anymore, baby.
I do feel that was the first domino that fell, us bleeding our own blood. Maybe we should thank you guys for it. But I do thank you for giving us a little bit of a platform tonight.
Yeah. And thank you so much as well. So we will chat with you soon and see you next time we play.
Thank you.
Steph, Matt Miazga's their captain.
Yeah, I know it.
I love it.
I hope. Sorry, Jeff. I hope that Matt Miazga gets a red card this weekend and then tries to pull some stuff.
Like 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
I want it to be like the earliest red card in the league history.
Yeah, me too. That would be so funny.
Steph, who's the man of your jersey?
Owen Wolf.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I just think that, he came on in the Open Cup match, and I know we had a lot of subs. Like, we had a lot of turnover right before that 7-minute goal push. But, like, Owen really is an energy changer. He is a game changer. He also had on a really great shirt and stepping up the fashion game. So I'm proud of him, and I'm so grateful that he's ours.
Yes. Amen.
Thank you all for listening. Make sure to check out patreon.com/MoontowerSoccer. And if you are a patron, make sure to check your email for an exciting update on Landon hair color.
Man, it looks so good.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 fit check, by the way. Star of the season.
Absolutely no notes.
Also, we got our bandanas this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And they are so sick.
They're so good.
Make sure if you want a cool piece of Moon Tower Soccer merch, it's $5 a month and it's so dope. And like the money like goes to helping make us feel better about doing the show.
Agree.
Ultimately, tell all your friends.
Yeah, and your enemies.
And your mom.
Oh, we love moms.
Happy Mother's Day.
Contrary to what Mike thinks about me, we love moms. Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah. If you're listening to this on Friday, if you're listening to this on Saturday, there's still time. You can still get your mother flowers and a card.
I mean, you can even do it on Sunday. Just stop at like HEB. They've got them.
And if you don't want to get your mom a card, get somebody else's mom a card.
Yeah, and if you are a mom of an Austin FC player and want to come on and chat with us about what it's like to raise a professional athlete, hit us up.
Yeah, we love those conversations.
We have a great track record with moms.
Yeah, ask your son's other player friends who have talked to us how cool we are.
Okay, we love you.
Bye.
Bye.
I will marry Chewy's.
Yeah.
Because they love Chew Boom Boom sauce.